Ancient to open up. That pick of Astralis, they're going to be gifted with that T-side opener, so Heroic, they want to hit the ground running here. Already Astralis, they've got their mind set in this one. They're all grouping over towards this B-bomb site. Heroic, are they ready for the pace that's about to come their way?
It's quick indeed. It's Ancient after all. Going to see a lot of B hits, aren't we? Stown almost gets caught. He's on the head of his teammate. It's getting wild in the cave. Churned up, chewed up, spat out. Astralis get the sight, and Config eviscerates Tessa through the smoke. Still refresh here. Config, has he got the read? He's gone right through, side by side. Astralis may have essentially already won this round, but refresh, he's body blocked. He's trapped in a little cave. Hello. Yoink, quick kill, but this should be all for refresh. He can get double-faced right now from cave. Astralis going to try and chase him down, 2-on-1, and Blame will close. It's Astralis with that pistol.
Yeah, man, it feels really good to win a pistol T-side Ancient. Going to give them a couple of free rounds here, at least that's the hope, right? If you get the conversions on the back of this pistol round, I feel like you've already done enough to kickstart a T-side here.
You know, what's super cool about this matchup and this map pool specifically is yeah, Heroic are coming in as favourites. It certainly seems that way. The lower bracket comeback, Astralis, not in the top form right now, but this map for Astralis has actually been really, really good, right? Heroic, it's statistically their worst map. For Astralis, they've been all over it. They've been trying to make themselves a mainstay of Ancient. They've been trying to make themselves in the conversation for best Ancient team in the world. It certainly seemed that way back at maybe Katowice, but dropped off a little bit towards the latter stage of the year in the major, had a little bit more trouble here. But by and large, Astralis certainly favoured on a map like this. If we have that come through, if we have Astralis take the first of the series, that will throw a spanner in the works. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Right now, it's just a force up for Heroic, and they might walk right into red.
Yeah, Config's waiting here. Gonna farm him up, and it's only one off of that Mac-10. Tessez is there to trade. Config already out of the round, and now Heroic take a little gamble. We know that these CT sides, they love leading into these stacks, and so they've got three in the right place at the right time. Astralis coming up through ramp. They're gonna lob a Molotov over, force that swing out of Stown in the site. Cadian can't get out of there. He's stuck out in the open, missed the corner. And so Astralis are just going to run away with this one. There's nothing that Heroic can do. It's a second round. They get the conversion. And it's just that one kill onto Config that's quickly forgotten about for Heroic.
Yeah, Heroic are looking a little bit shaky right now in these first few rounds, right? Just little movement problems. Stown got stuck in the pistol. Cadian gets trapped there as well, walks into the wall. And maybe it's that unfamiliarity for Heroic. But not to say they're not warmed up, man. They already played a BO3 earlier to take down big. And now Astralis coming in fresh, hot off the press. Is taking that second round. And they keep 4 alive as well, so it's nice and clean. Money's good. Heroic have one more eco before things get too interesting, as Astralis should start building into this game. That freebie that you prophesized has come true for now.
And I mean, this is the dream, man. This is the dream with a T-side start on Ancient. Looking to go 3-0 up before those rifles come through. You know, spoke to Config the other day. No, he hasn't been feeling incredible about how he's performed here, right? I think he knows he can offer a hell of a lot more. So I do kind of want to home in on him, see where he's at coming into this grand final.
Yeah, especially when for Astralis, there are two things that have gone wrong really in recent times. It's not only been their T-sides that have let them down many a time, but it's also been their entry capabilities. I guess in a sense they are well connected, those 2 points. When you have a player like Config, you need him to be on form to find those opening kills. Farley's not the kind of AWPer that you're going to be seeing attempting opening picks a lot, thrown into the front line, and Blame, while he's often happy to throw himself in and get involved on CT sides, we see a lot more lurking coming out from him on T-halves. So yeah, a player like Config is integral to the T-side success of Astralis. And on a map, the map that is so CT-sided right now in Ancient, there's no better time to start strong. Config, the aforementioned man, up top mid already. Heroic have made a bit of a gamble. It's the wrong read for now. And Astralis should just be able to walk right into this near empty bomb site to find their third.
Yeah, I do like that so far they've only committed with these B plays, man. It's good early conditioning out of Astralis. Heroic are always going to be paranoid about these B holds. Now, yeah, they're going to lose Config in top red, much akin to how they did in that last round. But there's no attempt to retake this one for Heroic. I think you're really going to sweeten the deal by getting out with an AK here, as Tessa is just going to make that his top priority. Astralis, they stick the landing on these conversions. And where things are really going to get exciting is in this follow-up round, because if you look, Cadian has been saving to bring out that AWP, so he's going to have that right away.
Yeah, Cadian, we talk about openers, right? Even on CT side, he's going to be throwing himself into fights quite a lot here to find 5-on-4s. It's those 5-on-4s that Heroic is so good at converting when they, completely peel back and give you the entire map, and that's when they get in your head, right? Gamble stacks, little reads, little... some players call them random. Some people don't believe there's much method to the madness, but I guess the results can speak for themselves at times. It has done Heroic well in grand finals gone by. But not on the stage, Harry. Not often do we see Heroic here, this deep into the playoffs. So I'm excited to see if they can show a new face today and not choke. Cadian's got that up. Essentially a bonus for Astralis with Galils and a MAC-10. They throw the Infinity Molly, trying to take that quick mid-space, but no one here to fight back. With a double Molly from Heroic, Astralis have to respect it. They don't have enough utility to burn or to smoke the fire. Glaive going to get a bit of util up the top of Donut. Going to give them more room. Astralis will be allowed this area. Shush has even completely conceded it as well. Cadian's all very passive to start things off. But Astralis are just doing their early defaulting for now.
Yeah, normally these Heroic CT sides, they don't mind throwing themselves into a gunfight early. This is very, very measured by Heroic standards. They're not running into a hell of a lot. This is a bonus round out of Astralis. And so right now, as Astralis kind of lean a couple of players out towards A main, there's actually only one guy here to keep an eye on it. It's Refresh. Over in top red, Shush is just tucked on in, waiting for contact to come his way. And with how often Config's been found here, it's not a bad move. Refresh going to get that information from Donut. Shush doesn't want to overextend here, so for the time being, he actually kind of leans back towards that A-bomb site.
The penny's dropped. Heroic have started to realize, right? Even though Refresh is getting trapped out in the back of Donut, they haven't cleared him, and everyone else is rotating over. The AWP is the only thing left out of the picture. Every other player of Heroic here in the right place at the right time. Cadian picks a lurk up B ramp. Tessus stops Farley from getting deep, and that bomb is only now getting retrieved. Astralis make a massive error in leaving that package back down in jungle, and now it is just Config. There's no way to win this round, folks. It is done. He can kill all he likes. Heroic find their first rifle round. I mean, even if they had the bomb, I don't know how much better that would have gone, but it would have been one more man in the site to actually fight through there for Astralis. Heroic make that perfect time rotation, and Astralis make a bit of a blunder.
Yeah, it's good that Heroic hit the ground running, right? That these rifles come out and they immediately find success. It would have put them on a real big kind of back foot if they falter in that round there. They're able to keep a lot of bodies going at the end of it as well. So money started to get made here for Heroic. Deep smoke down and towards the double doors, but Astralis, they're not respecting it. They're running up the ramp. Tessa's dead. Now over in caves, Down's been smoked off. Right now, this B site is compromised. Astralis are moving in. And smoke spam along with the nade. Gonna go a long way. Stops that bomb plant. Astralis have to go back for it. And while this is happening, they're losing bodies left and right.
Glaive's traded places in the smoke. He's still had a player right by him. I think he knows. He heard that flash over the top. Zip does manage to stop Shush from getting any further. And Glaive disappears back into the mist, trying to tuck in that light cubby. With the bomb down, Heroic have to wait for this smoke in CT. Cadian can't move a muscle. He doesn't want to push it with the AWP alone. This kill is everything. If Glaive can find it, Heroic might be forced out of this round. Zip's fighting in the middle of the open, and now he's all that stands. The clutch man of Astralis trying to spray, but Cadian flicks back in time. He can't find that bomb, but he will just get that defuse with seconds to spare.
Yeah, big retake round, man. Considering how that starts, considering the pace and the 4-on-4 with the site compromised, smoke down in caves, so your two players there can't do a thing. Heroic do a really good job of wrangling that one back under control. Really nice sequence from Zip towards the end, right? It's a shame that he just falls short in the 1v3, but he does all he can. brings it down close. And I mean, if that's the kind of sign of things to come out of Xyp9x, then I'm very excited for what this game might have to offer.
We still have this instant B door smoke for Heroic, but Astralis have no reason to respect it or hold behind it if Heroic don't give them a reason to, right? If they don't aggress down ramp, get involved in cave, but they've been smoked off as well. It goes both ways. Astralis get that lane control for free. If anything, it's essentially wasted utility for Heroic. They can use it later in the game. They can push down eventually, maybe on an eco round, when Astralis get comfortable going through the grey screen, but for now, no punishment. Another early default for Astralis, a 3-2. Glave's going to molly Stown. He's now actually trapped on the wide side. Glaive could take this fight if he wants. Stown just sits in front of it and fights for his life. Blame can't trade, not yet. Grenade's not going to do a thing. He gets to the spot, but Stown is buying so much time, and he might have more to show. 2 kills before all is said and done. This is going excellently for Heroic as they brawl in middle late. That bomb is left alone, and so is Blame.
As he goes back, he's going to die to the push down ramp. Tez says already there, already established. And so Heroic with that equalizing round now tie us up at 3-3. Since the rifles have come out, they've really come into their own.
Yeah, I mean, it's CT side Ancient, right? It's pretty powerful right now. This tournament especially, we've seen some extremely dominant CT sides, some 12-3s, 11-4s, very commonplace on pretty much every map, it feels like. So Astralis need to break through on a gun round soon. The 3-0 lead at least gave them a bit of a buffer, but there's a long way to go on this T side. And we are getting kind of what we wanted, Harry, a very brawly game right now, very messy, scrappy, lots of just... fights going on, and from 5-on-5 to 2-on-2 in 5 or 10 seconds. It's exciting. There is, of course, a bit of a familiarity between these two rosters, not always playing against each other, but domestic teams from the same country often look at each other in prep, in practice to try and come up with something new. Stay ahead of the curve, something Heroic have done very well at least. Very long-standing roster, over a year for the core, or for the 5, and even longer for the core.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the kind of cool things about this matchup happening now is, like, obviously for Heroic, this team was kind of used to playing second fiddle to Astralis for the longest time, right? When you were talking about top Danish teams, obviously Astralis were the ones in conversation, but obviously we've had that change, and actually, it's now been 2 years since Astralis have last lifted a trophy. That's why them being in this grand final is so important. Over here in Maine, Shush is dead after 1. That's a Glock to find him. Farley actually wins that head-to-head. And so Astralis find themselves in a 4-on-4 in this little eco round. Not meant to be too impactful, but you're going to try and slow this down and get everything you can out of it. Stown's peeking middle, but Config's already out, already far deeper in mid than maybe he's ready for. We'll check it, and so Config's flushed out. But Stown is now low, and he's going to get backstabbed by Farley, who's in with his second kill in this eco round. Astralis still finding ways to have impact, despite coming into this with very little to their name.
This is so dangerous for Tessez, and it might just work out. Bomb dropped as Blame was trying to move back with his squad to the T-spawn. He saw him heading B. Tessez will just up and leave after that kill. It was already risky enough. He doesn't need to gift them an AK-47 as well. He's got a teammate coming in for support. Astralis, 1 smoke is all they have to try and make anything out of this round. And Heroic might do it again. They might double dip. Refresh now moving in on elbow. It's Tessez to climb up on the B side, and Astralis are very patient in this round. Don't know if it will pay off. That's a good kill. There's an AK gifted. They know that wasn't the guy they just saw. They see him now. Tessez up on the B side of things. The AWP at top mid fires off, and now they can just trade engagements, trade peaks. Somehow Farley slips the net. Maybe there's a plant here.
Cadian's moving in quickly, doesn't want to jump the gun on this, going to try and time it with Tessez, and actually will just swing on out and put a stop to that, right? No bomb plant there for Astralis. They were hoping for the cash injection from it, but that's not the case. It's stolen away by Cadian.
I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's early in the game, but this is not a map that has been good to Heroic in this year, right? Just alone, they've only won it once out of the 6 times they've played it in 2022. That 1 wins against Complexity, so not even of massive impressive, or not massively impressive. It's been a bit of a tough point for this team. So no time like the present in a grand final to turn that all around. Mid-take now, Cadian, very mobile. Different spots every time, and he starts it in middle, taking down the in-game leader on the other side. He can reset as Astralis poised back to B.
Yeah, they just want to go through. They're pushing this smoke in at top ramp, and they're going to come to pay the price for it. Tess says, stalwart in the defense, never let his eyes off the prize over at ramp. And so now Astralis are looking for other avenues into this round. He's now been spotted. Stown knows about him, and I mean, Stown's been a bit of a beast over here in K. Very, very hard to contest with him here. While all this is happening, don't let it draw your attention away from Shush, who's coming in on this big old backstab, right? All the way through A, and now wrapping the B side of the map.
What?
He's going to catch Config. Config was even holding for that. And that's just salt in the wound there, man. You were fully ready for the wrap round. It could have given you an avenue back into this one. But instead, it's gone from bad to worse for Astralis. Now, as they move in, Cadian is there to extinguish the last little light of hope here. It's just Farley, and he's also about to throw himself into this AWP.
Yeah, no saving this one. Cadian's got it. Hook, line, and sinker. Heroic find 5 on the CT side, and it's clear Astralis know what's up. They know what's going on, right? They have played very, very slow, very passive on these early defaults when they've not been hitting B instantly, and Heroic have been bringing the fights that Astralis have wanted. Think about that eco where they just sit outside a jungle and A main, and they get it down to a 2-on-2 on patience alone. Like you said, Config was holding Shush's flank there, and still Shush wins the fight. He should never. But very impressive stuff for Heroic to get these sneaky kills in and bail. Astralis, they can't wait forever. They might need to start throwing executes the way of Heroic. It's what got them on the board in the first place, just that B abuse. A lot harder when there's utility in play to stop it, when there's crossfires in the site. We'll see what Astralis want to remedy the situation with.
Yeah, something that's a little bit threatening as well is like Cadian, even though he's been very mobile with the AWP and like kept you guessing as to where it's going to be, he's been pretty passive up until that round there, right? Suddenly now he's like making first contact. He's out on a real island over in middle, and those are kind of the aggressive plays that this guy can get away with, and he's very much got the support structure to allow him to do that. I think that maybe sets a bit of a worrying precedent, right? Maybe Cadian was giving you some respect early on, right? Maybe he was trying to play it on the safe side, as it were, but that round, he has himself a field day, and if that's going to reflect in the remainder of this CT side, then maybe that AWP gets even more oppressive here. Astralis, what's the answer going to be? They're down to pistols once again. Let's get into this one. They're leaning over towards middle early. They want to try and get out past these Molotovs.
Oh my goodness.
Running and gunning, but Cadian's there holding the line. You're not getting past this AWP today.
Can't believe Cadian's ready for that one. Through 2 Molotovs goes Config. He doesn't extinguish a single one. Cadian's now in the right place to find this crossing shot, but flashed off. They're getting ever closer. Almost a lineup. Deagle out. Tessa saves the day. Bomb goes flying forward, and so do the corpses of Astralis littered on that A bomb site. Heroic goes 6-3 up with only a single casualty to the eco. I like the pace change for Astralis. They test the timings. They try and catch Heroic off guard, but you're going to have to wake up pretty early to catch Heroic sleeping. They've been doing keepy uppies since 7, and they're keeping up the lead. Yet to drop around, as you said, since they've got the guns.
Back to something a little slower here, right? Going to try and get through these double doors. Now, normally they haven't been faced here. Normally they haven't felt too much of a reaction to pushing through that smoke. This time, Stown is floating around in the cave looking like he wants to fight. Flame's gone ahead of this smoke.
Yeah.
Stown's got no idea. Oh my God. Stown is just so unaware that Blame managed to slip the net. Sneaky. And so that's a freebie. Astralis, they need to do well in this position, right? They've been waiting kind of all first half since the rifles came into play to start around in this 5-on-4. Now they've got it. It goes unpunished. So this is where they're hoping to find success. Glaves pins it in. Refresh can't hold it with the double, but Cadian is here to block the hole in mid.
6 shots. Refresh sets him up. Cadian does him right. Shush pushes again in middle, and Astralis can't get comfortable. Not in this round. They may have had that 5-on-4, but it all came crumbling apart, and Farley is left as the last survivor. Probably not for long either. Honestly, I think Save might be the best play here. If Farley has the faith, he can go for it. There is an open bomb site right now. But the longer that goes on, the more Heroic consider those timings. Shush is already backing up to check it. And Farley, he doesn't have the info we have, so it might just be a done deal. 20 seconds to make it hit up his mind, and it will be the save. Folks, Heroic are on to 7. Flawless still.
Yeah, man, this is one hell of a turnaround. I mean, you know, we said coming into that, they finally get this opener, an opener in which you didn't even have to work that hard to get it, right? It just kind of hinged on a good timing out of the Blame F getting hit, and they might go 5-on-4 up, but past that, it is a disaster. They only find one more kill past that point, and well, Heroic get out, still making money here, still building up bank for this CT side, and that's going to cause you problems down the line. It means this AWP on Cadian is a little freer to take some risks, right? You don't necessarily feel the burn of losing this AWP. And with the kind of impact he's finding early on, that's pretty terrifying if you're an Astralis fan.
Yeah, they just keep doing the same 3-2 default again. Now they're even starting to respect the smoke. They got a boost over it, maybe a gap for Farley to find a kill on a ramp push. It's a nice boost, but no one going to move in, not yet at least. They're coming from the cave side. I say that, there's the peak. Right down the ramp go Heroic. Farley with 2 shots, both close, neither connect. And 3 players up towards the lane for Heroic. They keep Astralis out of control. Out of contention. Re-smoke now, and this is so oppressive. No way for Astralis to even find their opening kills in a round like this. They've got to look elsewhere. Farley has, after firing a shot on B, gone all the way around the world. Will Refresh offer up an angle, though? Waiting for a commit. And this is the perfect play, not overstepping a meter. Cadian even has the cross from spawn. He has to stay very floaty, though, on this CT side as Astralis keep him activated by throwing in util. That's going to give a gap. They're going to boost up and over again. Refresh might spot this on another jump. He sees it. Farley over the top. Now drop down, and Refresh looks for more. He'll find both.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a great example of kind of working angles there, right? Behind that box, it's very tricky to clear if you just never give them the peek. And so the patience was the question there for Refresh. Now the push up through P-Ramp. Oh. Flash is good to set up Testes, but he can't convert for the second. Can Zip give Astralis a way in? He's found himself a double, doing everything he can to make a round happen from nowhere. Over on the short side, Stown is ready to go through this smoke. Astralis going to double up at long. Stown is already in the sight. They've seen the shadows. Cadian's getting hounded down, but Conflict hung out to dry with the flashbang. Cadian goes soaring on in. Another multi-kill from the man at the helm of Heroic. And another round built up.
These flashes are so good, Harry. They're so good. They're constantly bombarding Astralis. The second their information is given away, the second the jig is up, after Refresh clears main with 2 kills, he knows they're not there. Astralis announced their entrance into B with utility, and Heroic flash every single fight. Very nice stuff. I think we have to see B execute out of Astralis. I think that's probably the only way they're going to be breaking in early. Try and take that lane back, throw a ramp Molotov early so you can disrespect the smoke. Even if you do it late, Heroic seem to have players there. They clear mid early. Refresh doing it again, going deep. More util. Not all of it perfect. Astralis dodge the flashes. They can't dodge nades, though. That's a lovely bit of damage. And man, Astralis can just barely get out of spawn in this map right now. Gonna see lineups being used and execute, but not on B. And do Heroic had the setup for it. Right now it's only Shush holding passive. He's in a great position though. Headshot angle on the box. He can move behind if he wants as well. This crouch is nice. You know, manipulating his model. His head's going to be, when you're crouched, moving to the right behind that wall. Going to be very hard to headshot. Astralis need to spray him down. How many can Shush get?
The Watchman sat here in silence, but ready to go off if it calls for it. They've seen him on that jiggle. They know he's here, but that does not make dealing with him any easier. Everyone from Heroic, with the exception of Cadian, is in this A-bomb site right now. And Astralis, they're learning it the hard way. They're getting churned up as they try to move in.
Ooh.
It's just BlameF left standing. Even though this guy puts up crazy numbers, a 1v4 of this proportion, it should never happen. Blame's already looking at the back line, hoping they feed him, hoping they give him a reason to go for this. With so much time having elapsed, he is out of here. He's not looking to win the round anymore, just looking to survive, and Cadian won't even give him that.
No witnesses, not against Heroic. They are keeping these rounds so clean, not just maxing out their own money, but barely even giving Astralis a way in, right? Plants are getting denied in the majority of these rounds. Ecos aren't doing damage. Astralis aren't getting any favorable positions other than that 1 5-on-4 given to us by Blame that fell apart in middle. Every post plant has been a man down, at least. So this is a really rough beginning for Astralis on their map pick right now. This is the danger of picking Ancient, right? That T-side start. And when things aren't going to plan, we have to hope that Glaive can pull something massive out for Astralis. Heroic, another gamble. It goes perfectly. I say gamble, I mean Cadian had so much control towards lane. He was pushed all the way down on ramp and scoped up. He could see door, he could see climb up, he could see cave. There was no way back into B for Astralis.
I mean, considering the kind of rivalry that exists between, you know, Glaive and Cadian, it is, you wonder if this is going to get in Glaive's head, man, because Cadian is top of the board for Heroic. He's out-cooling Astralis right now. They are getting absolutely manhandled, and Glaive sits down bottom of the board for his team.
This is more like it, though. An earlier, just full execute on the B site. Oh, great grenade. It is often what Ancient comes down to. We'll see if Heroic decide to commit in front of the smokes or if they want to play a retake round. Astralis is going to try and take cave first. They've at least got Jag. One more room to take. They've got to wait out this door smoke. It's screwed their lineups up right now. Ooh, first entry comes in. Farley delivering the goods. No AWP needed. 2 kills. Config's going to follow up as well. Stown can only hold on to 1. And suddenly, Astralis have broken through. Smoke's not needed. But that's going to give room for Heroic to fight back if they want.
Yeah, Refresh wants to fight for this. Wants to go in alone. He doesn't have support right now. This is a solo mission, and he's brushed out. Config doubles up.
That's more like it. A little bit looser for Astralis. I don't think they were even ready to go, to be honest.
No,
it felt like Farley
literally just went, nah, screw this, I'm going, man.
Yeah.
Like, the util wasn't even lined up yet. There wasn't even anyone to help him. He just runs up the ramp, gets that first, and the killer instinct takes over. Yeah. Everyone else moves in to join him.
Nice to see Config capitalize on it as well, right? 2 for Farley, triple for Config, just breaking into that B-bomb site. We've already seen, you know, like pretty quiet game off the AWP for Farley. It's very hard to find opening kills on this map as a T-AWP. It feels like your one true option is that boost box on B. We've seen Farley poke his head into A main, but Refresh has been very passive there. And in middle, you know, you're often just seeing Cadian AWP top red or get smoked off by Astralis. So not a lot of options for Farley. He gets it done with a rifle instead. But is that just a one and done, Harry? Is it a flash in the pan for Astralis, or can they build upon it? Heroic do get somewhat caught off guard with that contact B, but I don't think it will happen again.
Yeah, Astralis go back to their more standard, you know, 3-2 default across the map, and Cadian's looking to make some incisions here, man. The Doctor is in, and he's creeping in through middle, holding, and he's going to nail Farley on that cross shot. Never even knew what hit him. The man who opened up last round for Astralis is already dead to rights, and we're into a 4-on-5 right away. That's 5.
All right, Mighty. Great grenade again for Astralis, or for Heroic onto Astralis. Both players boosting box get put 50. Stan will be wallbanged out of the cubby, but a re-smoke down for Heroic will stop Astralis in their tracks. They do have cave control. Past the scope is Glaive. Cadian doesn't know, but if Glaive wants to go back, he will walk to his own demise. It's a very weird position. Towing the line between death and life is Glaive. The smoke goes out. It hits Cadian. He has to give it up. He can't go through that one. Not yet. Leave it up to his one man anchored inside of the site. The superstar Stown has to do it all.
Yeah, good angle to get one at a bare minimum here, right? They're not looking at him. He's going to have free reign, open sight lines, and there's Stown. dealing with the B play. And I mean, it feels like the pennies kind of dropped for Heroic as well. They're really taking liberties across the map. Shush had actually fully pushed A main, came in on a backstab earlier on in the round. I think they're starting to realize how much respect is being shown on the back of these B plays. There's not really anyone considering the aggro out of Heroic. And so the confidence is starting to build up now. You're taking kind of these calculated risks to push in the mid-round. It's very vintage stuff that we're used to seeing out of the Heroic squad. But they weren't doing it early on, and that's only started to come through since they've amassed this wonderful first half scoreline.
Oh, they've had enough, haven't they? Again, smoke on the molly. They go running right through, and Shush shuts him right up with almost 3. He has to go back for it. Blame will trade. Oh, it's not too late, but it might be too little for Astralis. 3 more kills in the way of a 5th round. Smokes are down. Tessis can come through his, but no utils ready, no utils available for Heroic to flash themselves back into fights. Astralis are stuck in the middle of the site, and theirs have faded as well. This is a weird stalemate. Angles can just be hold. That bomb has to cross out of this position eventually. Cadian, he doesn't know Zip's made it in, but he's about to find out. There's the jiggle. Cadian was moving though. He goes back for more, and that's a lights out shot as Heroic close with 11 CT rounds. Absolutely dominant on this first half right now. Astralis. Yeah, and just to go back to your point as well, about the defaulting and about the aggression that we've seen out of Shush towards A, or Cadian in middle, or even Cadian in B. It's like Astralis were running their defaults for the first 10 rounds of this game. They were running it down to 20, 30 seconds on executes or on mid-takes. They were doing all they could to wait patiently for Heroic's aggression, but it's near the end of the half that Heroic actually start throwing it in, right when Astralis have had enough of waiting, where they're not getting given anything, where they're not getting given these 5-on-4 fights that they need to run executes on the T side. And Heroic find that a perfect time to start pushing Astralis. They shut them out of their T side, and now Heroic, I mean, a pistol, that could be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so wild because it's like on paper, 11-4 isn't the most dismal T side you could have had on Ancient, but it's the context in which it happened. It's the fact that 3 of those 4 rounds came off the pistol. Over in mid, Cadian's opened up despite getting flashed off the angle. He's the one reaping the reward. Blame F has missed.
Oh, dear.
The dual Berettas betray him, and that could have made all the difference there. If he was able to reclaim the 4v4, this could have still been an Astralis round. Now Zip and Config have got to do it inside of B. They're getting pressured on either side. One man dead up the ramp.
Look at Cadian.
Cadian all the way through Temple, through A. He's made the call. Guys, come back. I've got all this room. And Astralis have got no idea. Now, he doesn't want to die. Suddenly, the site would be compromised. He's somehow made it out alive. He's not supposed to. But he's still kicking, still going, and still willing to fight.
Glaive can stop all of this.
The bomb's going back.
Yeah, I mean, Cadian realized that he'd drawn just enough rotation that you may as well go back to that B site. Stan was still holding Cave, and Glaive stopped Cadian on the box. So now, Astralis have made the read again. They know what's up. Zip hasn't moved a muscle. He's got to win this fight, though, or it might not matter at all. And Stan taps him with a P250. Heroic with a plant, and Astralis with no chance in this retake.
Yeah, it's got to be so fast. That's the problem. All these kills are going to happen immediately. Config, there's one, but with Glaive still trying to flush Down out, even just delaying here can be enough to win you the round, but Down doesn't want to win it to time. Wants to win it with style.
Astralis just don't look on the same page in that pistol. The call out of Spawn was, we're going to get smoked out mid. Glaive has a flash out of CT, and both the red player and the donut player are going to swing, and they don't. Config doesn't commit through the smoke. Farley gets hung out to dry. Cadian's full blind in mid. He wins that opener, and there's no trade. That was really weird for Astralis. Even Blame missed his shots as well, so it's looking a little bungled right now. A pistol win for Heroic. If they convert, Astralis have 1 gun round to play.
It's a good 1-for-1 for Config, right? Trading an MP9 for one of these rifles, you'll take that. But it will just get juggled onto another player here for Heroic. Config's done his part in the round. There needs to be more. Heroic are just going to start to lean back into this B play now, grouping everybody up on this side of the map. Blame F and Zip lie in wait. Now, they do have smokes. They can delay this, right? They can buy time for their teammates to rotate over. They can make life a little awkward for Heroic. It just hinges on Heroic not immediately going at like the highest tempo they can on this site here. There's a smoke in at the top of ramp. Heroic, they weren't through it ahead of time, so they do have to slow down now.
They can't recommit an exec, though. They have one flash in their entire belt. So if they want to go back into B, it's going to be open sight lines. That's good for Astralis. They can pick their fights. They don't have to overcommit. They're all coming in through Cave, and Flame's figured it out.
Doesn't get the info as to how many, but he does know they're in there. Zip holding for this wide swing, has support from Farley at short. Big danger is that, like, you know, you kind of need Blame F. If he's able to win this ramp fight, suddenly he has options to, like, push ahead and give himself a safety net. If that's not the case, however, and his teammates die behind him, he's going to be hung out to dry. Yeah, they're spilling in. Blame's overran. It's worst case scenario there. The two players that were holding on to Cave are bested without doing a thing. And Blame F was hung out to dry. Now just Glaive in the 1 versus 3 with the bomb already down. And Heroic already so deep. It was very much a done deal, wasn't it?
Cadian checks his score, but he's like, oh, it's Glaive? I'm going to just wide swing. I'm going to just get in his head right now if he wasn't already there. And it certainly seems like Heroic are on the money for a quick win. This is so strange as well for Heroic, like breaking, you know, streaks. It was yesterday where they, or the other day where they took on Finest, and Heroic had been so solid at Vertigo. They'd lost it once this entire year out of 8 games played. They took their second L. Well, it was the opposite here. They've barely been winning Ancient. They've only got 1 win on it in 22. So this is an incredible turnaround for Heroic. They were ready for the pick. They've come in prepped, and they're only a few kills away from stealing Astralis' map in this BO3 Grand Final. A nice opener for Config out of middle. Glaive's going to get mollied out of position, but Astralis still want to fight.
Oh, yeah, you're just not expecting a lot in a round like this, though, are you? Right, outside of this Config Eagle, there isn't a whole lot of danger here for Heroic. Grouping up for an A hit, and I mean, with red control and mid going their way, Astralis, even rotating players in is a risk. It's very, very measured.
That was a dink through the wall. Config. Oh, no, the reload. Not the time he needed it. 2 bullets left. That's why he went for it. Neither connect. Shush will find that kill. And this should be all said and done. Unless the Deagle of Blame can get ahead of Heroic. They've not mollied him off. Fast flank. Oh, Zip hits the headshot with a USP. There's a world, there's a way, but Blame is cut down, and Zip needs the gun. Will they allow it? He goes for it, but flashed out. Tessus finds the shot, and Heroic leave no stone unturned.
Man, they're throwing like homing flashbangs, it feels like. Like every flash is just nailing Astralis. And I mean, talk about, you know, a taste of your own medicine for the years gone by.
Yeah.
But, you know, coming into this, we said, like, this is a team in Heroic who were used for the longest time to playing second fiddle to Astralis. And now we just kind of have to come to terms with the fact that this is a very, very different team. You know, they haven't lifted a trophy since 2020. The Global Challenge was the last time we saw Astralis pick a trophy up, and that was with Device still back in the team.
Damn. I mean, even Carrigan was stirring the pot on Twitter earlier, saying, you know, the winner of this game is going to have bragging rights for years to come. Not just the $100,000 difference in first and second place, but I think the pride between these rosters is even more important. We've heard all the smack talk. We've seen the arguments between these rosters, and Heroic are trying to prove once and for all that theirs is the one here to win. And I think it's awesome if they could do it, not just because of the rivalry, but also because of the storyline we've been touting for so long, that Heroic just collapse in playoff games in front of crowds. Not today, not now. 14-4. This is it for Astralis.
Yeah, if you don't win this one, Ancient has slipped away from you in a very real and a very big way. Zip holds on to Cave with the first. And with Blame here to help, they managed to trade it favorably. Finally, Heroic, they cast their eyes on a part of the map, and Astralis don't give it to them. It feels like one of the first times they've had to make one of these real on-the-fly adjustments. And with Shush falling, that kind of was the backup plan over towards A.
Save. it was their get-out clause, right? They knew they had so much attention on B after that 2-for-1 in Cave, and they threw an exec just to keep Astralis there. If Shush gets the entry onto Config, suddenly Heroic have room to rotate through middle, the position Astralis weren't playing, and go and try and win the round on A, but not going to be allowed. Shush falls. 1 kill for Config. It makes all the difference in that round. It keeps Astralis in this map for now.
Counter-terrorists win.
It's a very long way to go in this comeback. But they've all got to start somewhere. That little, the kind of interplay between Blame F and Zip in the Cave was nice.
Yep.
These two have been tasked with a lot of the B holds, and it hasn't really felt very complete thus far for Astralis. So it is relieving to see them remove that from the strat book of Heroic. Maybe makes them think twice before leaning into one of these B execs.
All right, 4-1 here for Heroic. Refresh can make enough noise by throwing that molly on ramp. It means Astralis can't take the space back early, and they don't know how many players are here. Blame's still going to be aggressive towards Cave, you would imagine. Very common to see. Glaive retaking middle with Config. Contact Pete. Testis is lining up nades, and Config beats him to the punch. Flashed out by his teammate. Not ideal, but Heroic weren't there to capitalize upon it. They were trying to throw grenades, for crying out loud. Leave them alone. They'll have to go back to the drawing board. A little sneaky play with no announcement. 1 smoke, 2 flashes. That's all they got. Oops.
This is going to be open season for Farley if he isn't smoked off at CT. While this is happening, Astralis have just taken B lane away. So at this point, they know that there's no control on the B side. And Config gets that info as he scales up the boost. At this point, it should be clear that it is destined to end over towards A. The utils now coming through for Heroic. They had very little to launch this offensive. And the CT sight line left open. Gonna be their downfall. Everyone's there for Astralis. And it's all thanks to that earlier kind of scouting mission over towards B. Collects the info that no one's there. And that only leaves one option open with so little time left.
Yeah, Config trying to hype the fellas up. And I mean, he puts on a massive 3K in the A site. He has been solid in this position. Often, A Anchor's not seeing much action on this map. But Heroic have already thrown a few players through main in this T side so far. They are back to pistols for now. Should be a quick affair. And these games can spiral quickly, especially on a CT side. Ooh, Zip, yep, checks the corner just about. Going to take lane fully back against the pistols, give Heroic absolutely no room to work with. And spoiler alert, Astralis are winning this round. No ifs, ands, or buts. They go through the door, and Testis is dead as well. 1 kill for Cadian, but it matters not for Astralis. They come through confidently with a 7th.
This is very sweaty from Shush.
Yeah, come on.
1v4 with a Glock. Come on, lad. You know, they're having a little discussion. Oh, my God.
Shaky.
Well, I wonder, will he die with the Glock on the mid-swing? The answer is yes. Config will find him. And so here we are, a couple of rounds in a row now for the Astralis organ. Well, they're going to need a lot more of that if they do want to pull this game back. Well, we've seen how these T-sides on Ancient can go. It's never over till it's over here.
I don't know if I want to start tying knots with a cope rope right now, Harry. It's very early in the half. It's still, Heroic. Yeah, sure, they're in the same spot Astralis were with those conversions. Nothing since, but it's just such an insurmountable task, you think. It's down, fast out middle, going to get killed by Glaive up in front of the smoke. Astralis had 3 players in mid to start. That has left A wide open. A good amount of real estate taken by Heroic. They have got the late smoke in Donut. It might be a gap there. There was a deep flash, rather. So plant can get allowed unless random spam does it. And a bomb plant here is fantastic for Heroic. They probably won't convert it, but even just the extra money for their future gun round, Astralis flash their way through smokes and try and clean up house. Should be easy enough. And every kill coming in, just refresh. Oh, it's a mess! It's a mess! Just how my Tech 9 works too, don't worry.
Mate, that's kind of, that hurts for Refresh, man. He was playing the trigger discipline, hidden in the sight smoke the entire round. And he had chances to take players out of it, but he was trying to take out the right man. And that would have been someone, you know, looking to go for that defuse, looking to play around the bomb. But unfortunately, we all just saw that whiff. There's no ignoring it. Still, that was a very conservative partial investment from Heroic. A lot of teams would have put all their money in that round. Heroic didn't. They wanted to have everything they could possibly need, so there's no excuses in this next rifle. They take a big old save here to bring everything you could want into it. You're going to have an AWP on Cadian if you want. You're going to have full utility. You're going to have that ability to launch all your util into a site and then exec again, and that's very important in terms of getting out some of this late round util that Astralis have been holding on to.
Yeah, Heroic choose not to buy up the AWP despite the money being there. They go for 5 flat rifles, so you know, only shows the difficulty.
This is about to be fast. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but you can see, because like Refresh and Down both had money for util, but they don't buy it. They're going to be leading the charge on this one, right? Into that AWP, and that immediately makes the faster pace that was meant to accent this round just taper off immediately. You were hoping that either Down or Refresh was going to give you the opener there, and with that not happening, Heroic have to go back to the drawing board. It's a little more drawn out now as they line up this A utility.
Yeah, same plan, different pace. Smoke's going over the top, and this is going to get weird now. No boost employed. They're just trying to spot for information. Molly in the back of the site. Glave's going to be forced out to fight, to commit, to die after just what? Flash out Donut's perfect for Config. 2 kills off the spray. He has been a rock on this A site. And Heroic keep bashing their head into it. 9 rounds now. At what point do we start believing?
I already was, Hugo.
Ah, you bought in, did you?
Look, man, something's changed. And also, you know, I remember back from the Astralis, you know, attempted the major run. We saw that it was Farley's like all A-holds that felt like they could be exploited. And I feel like Astralis have worked on that a lot. This A-bomb site is no longer the kind of bastion of hope that it used to be for a T-side facing Astralis. Tess's smoke didn't put the molly out, and so he's now far lower than you would have liked. However, Flame was not considering it.
Tasted his own medicine, perhaps, coming through cave. Oh god, don't get caught, Zip. Stound's up close.
Yeah, this could start to tumble, man. They need to keep them out of this ramp area, and right now, they've lost Zip. That's Tess out of the cave side. Farley, so many angles to look at. Gets one while blind, but that's the end of the line for him. And now into the retake, it's just Config left. 1v3. He's given us multi-kills, he's given us big moments, but this one is too far gone. Heroic are up onto 15.
Tesses is a freak, man. How the hell does he find a triple entry in that round, right? He not only, like you said, misses the smoke on the Molotov, putting him down to 20 health, catches Blame, coming quick into lane, and then goes through cave to double entry. That's sickening for Tesses. That's one of the most exciting parts of Heroic, right? While they have a couple of superstar players like Stown who can do so much work, I feel like everyone can shine. Everyone can have their moments, put up huge clutch rounds. You don't have weak role players. There is a lot of firepower here for Heroic. Tesses will show it. Quick pick in mid. Config will trade and get out. But again, it's Heroic looking towards that B-bomb site with glee in their eye.
Yeah, usually Blame F is like the big scary guy to run into here, but he's been pretty measured to open this one up. If there was ever a time to get one of these big Blame F CT rounds, it's in this one, right? They're coming his way, they're grouping over towards lane, and he's sat pretty in cave. Now, there is a world where he could find the timing here to duel these players at ramp as they look to move in. The rotates are going to take a long old while. Glaive is the only guy who can kind of offer a slightly faster rotation. This is going to hinge on Astralis slowing down this take. Keeping Heroic at bay, but they're playing close to this smoke at the top of ramp. They're already trying to maximize every square inch they're able to take at the top of ramp. Zip flashed in for a peek, but it doesn't go his way. Refresh gets the opener. Glaive's now moved around to reinforce this side of the map. Blame F with the swing. It's damage, but it's not the kill. Him and Glaive both deleted, and so it's Config again. Caught by Cadian. And Heroic, they steal away Astralis' map pick of Ancient.
Incredible game out of Heroic, right? What a statement piece to pick up such a dominant win, at least at the start. That insane CT side beginning on a map that they have had trouble on in 2022. Astralis have loved Ancient. They've been trying to make themselves one of the best Ancient teams in the world. But here in the grand final, it's Heroic to start by taking their opponent's pick. What a banger we have coming up. Overpass is our next map of the series. Stick with us, folks. We won't be long.